It's Thursday, June 4. This is the news on PBCJ. I'm Carol Francis. An 87-year-old woman from Kingston and St. Andrew is the latest person to die from complications related to the novel coronavirus in Jamaica. She is the 10th person to die from the virus. The health ministry says one new sample has also tested positive for COVID-19, bringing the country's total confirmed cases to 591. The new sample is an imported case from the Adventure of the Sea cruise line. Jamaica now has 92 imported cases of COVID-19. Meanwhile, the country also recorded 5 more recoveries in the last 24 hours. This brings the total number of patients who have recovered from COVID-19 and have been released from isolation to 361. The country's recovery rate now moves to 61%. And Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the COVID-19 pandemic has overturned the gains made by countries across the globe. He was addressing the one-day virtual extraordinary intersessional summit of the Organization of African, Caribbean and Pacific States on Wednesday.
CARIFORUM states have experienced devastating impacts in multiple areas, including health, education, culture, trade, and finance. The mainstay of most of our economies, agriculture and tourism, were hardest hit by a staggering fallout in revenue and employment. These experiences are certainly echoed across ACP states.
Mr. Holness said the global pandemic is a call for action.
Let us therefore engage our institutions to consider innovative solutions. The flaws in the current international financial and economic system must be remedied. The OACPS must mount a strong advocacy campaign for access to emergency liquidity support of developing countries with vulnerable economies. This will require the international financial system to facilitate the channeling of public and private credit flows into productive development capital. Together, we must address global inequality, unsustainable debt, and socio-economic disparities. In this regard, the intra-ACP collaboration, including South-South cooperation, can become an effective tool in building stronger social systems and infrastructures.
It has cost almost $1 billion Jamaican dollars to bring home about 2,300 Jamaicans since the ports of entry were closed to incoming passengers in March. Prime Minister Andrew Holness shared the information in Parliament.
Mr. Speaker, a total of approximately 2,300 persons have entered Jamaica under the re-entry program. 2,300. To date, at a cost of close to $1 billion Jamaican dollars. This would be for testing, for quarantining, for the logistics around all the operations, for meals and transportation.
Approximately 50 of the repatriated nationals tested positive for COVID-19.
And of the number that has been brought in, so far we are just above 50 who have been tested. Just above 50. Tested, no, 50, number. Just above 50 that have been tested positive, yes. No, 50 persons. No, 50 tested positive.
During the period June 15 to 30, 2020, non-nationals will be allowed to enter Jamaica. Non-nationals will be subject to the same screening and risk assessment protocols. Prime Minister Andrew Holness elaborated on the order in the House of Representatives.
Period June 15 to 30th, 2020, non-nationals will be allowed to enter Jamaica. Now, I want the Parliament to consider the concept of the non-national. Because when we hear of non-national, the first thing that we think about is a tourist. And it is amazing because Jamaica is such a diverse country. There are so many persons living in our country who are not Jamaicans. But you can't tell because they have totally taken on the culture. They have assimilated. To be clear, there are thousands of non-nationals who live in Jamaica. They have houses here. They have lived here for years. They have businesses here. They pay taxes. They have work permits. They have long stay approvals. They have parents here. They have spouses here. They have children and dependents here. Or they are dependents of persons here. So, Mr. Speaker, you would have seen the situation in today's paper, I believe it was, where a husband and wife were separated on the cruise ship. That's the challenge when, and we're trying to avoid that. So for us, we are making it such precisely that non-nationals can come. Non-nationals will be subject to the same screening and risk assessment protocols. Everybody will be screened. Same thing. Everybody will be screened. If the screening now shows something that you need to be quarantined, you need to be tested, then that will be done.
The Public Administration and Appropriations Committee, the PAAC, wants a $46 million contract awarded to Rahim Cleaning and Trucking Limited to carry out cleaning and sanitization work in Ocho St. Anne to be investigated. Concerns were raised during a meeting of the committee.
Chairman, the project that we're discussing today is funding support to mitigate against COVID-19, and the request came from the St. Anne Municipal Corporation. The project document that came to TEF, in fact, spoke about maintenance and rehabilitation of tourism areas, and the document requested funding for a number of areas. In fact, it said Ocho Rios, Sentence Bay, Falmouth, and Discovery Bay. No, not Falmouth. Ocho Rios, Sentence Bay, Brownstone, and Discovery Bay. The request came for $77,269,841.08. The board of the TF reviewed the request and, in fact, approved $46,851,105.30 for the town of Ocho Rios only. The $30 million for the other three towns was not approved in that request.
At a previous sitting, the PAAC queried why St. Anne alone had been singled out when other municipalities in tourist resort areas received no funding for similar exercises.
Therefore, it would seem to me that if you were considering cleaning and sanitizing resort areas, you would start by setting a program that would be covering all of those areas or some portion of it, have some rationale. In other words, what we see here is basically requests for for Ocho Rios. We also see that there was a consideration for St. Anne's Bay for $30 million, which seemed to have gone to the board, and there were requests for Falmouth. I'm just saying that what you're saying, there was no consideration of the board of an actual structured program to assist with the cleanup under COVID.
$100 million has been earmarked for the cleaning of drains and cleaning of verges across the island as part of preparations for the hurricane season. The program, which will be carried out by the National Works Agency, the NWA, is slated to commence shortly. Focus will be on critical drains in flood-prone areas. This is the first of 3 flood mitigation programs that will be carried out by the NWA over the next 6 months in relation to the hurricane season. All major crimes are trending down. That's the word from Minister of National Security, Dr. Horace Chang. According to Dr. Chang, over 200 gang members have been arrested and charged.
Well, it's a significant number, but there's still a large number of young males who are disenfranchised. and are being misled by men with influence who will provide arms and incentive for them to participate in violence.
The security minister says the police are to receive additional training in dealing with violent crimes and the use of technology for modern policing.
Criminals are using cybercurrency and Bitcoin pockets to move their money. The police is just beginning to get that kind of equipment and technology to deal with such criminals. It is true, yes, what is visible is that men are using the old method of shooting and a very brutal and primitive way. But that's what the police is faced with. Faced to deal with the kind of primitive criminality and violence that you have to deal with at a large scale, and at the same time highly sophisticated criminals. And the sophisticated criminals who earn huge amounts of money are capitalizing on the culture of violence, and they're always hiring young men, misleading them by providing weapons and incentive to participate in violence.
Dr. Chang believes a sustainable gang prevention strategy is a partnership between law enforcement, the community, social services, and youngsters.
Working with other ministries, agencies of government to allow the individuals from the very depressed communities to access the benefits and opportunities available in the government service. This is one of the biggest problems we have. Many of the young men, the schools are the rundown. We can work with the ministry to provide them with better school even before we get to those ones. There are many poor families who are not accessing PATH. They don't even have birth certificates. They're pretty seen as the lost people in the society. We have to restore their dignity and their respect. That involves more than policing. What the police is committed to do to provide a gateway for the agencies and the government to get in there and work with the people. And that's what we've been doing across the country, in addition to improving the efficiency, capability, and capacity of the police force.
The month of May is traditionally a rainy one. The May rains would normally stock the island's water tables to offset the dry summer period. Owing to the vagaries of climate change, this year there was hardly any rain in May, which means we are now staring down the barrel of a protracted drought. How can farmers navigate through these times? In the second part of an interview, Marlon Samuels tells us how.
The forecast for the next couple of months is below normal rainfall, with above normal temperatures. Dr. Ajamu Nangwaya, lecturer at the University of the West Indies, Mona, says there are measures farmers can use to eliminate or cushion the upcoming drought conditions.
If, for example, we follow a food forest idea where we mimic the way our forest is structured, where you have taller plants and lower level, and there are different things that can grow, it will help us to better survive. So that's for that reason why I see so many banana trees here. It provides some amount of shade, and then I can grow pineapple, I can grow pepper, and other things under it. So there are things we can do, even to minimize soil moisture loss from the soil. We can also use mulch to cover the soil, but in a drought that won't be effective because we just won't have enough water. But during normal times, you should always have your soil surface covered in mulch to reduce the loss of moisture to the atmosphere.
The cultural studies lecturer says growing more trees is also a part of the solution. He argues that planting trees will help stem the effects of a drought.
It's not just the next drought, major drought that's going to come. What we should focus on is the measures and the activities that we need to carry out to deal with having adequate amount of rainfall. In this yard alone, I've planted more than 50 trees in my operation. That's just one person. Imagine if there are almost 3 million Jamaicans. Each one of us going to plant 50 trees all over, not just in our yards, but on mountains, and mobilize the people. We should plant 10 million trees. Not in 3 years, but in 1 year or less. But we'd have to inspire the people and mobilize them and provide education about the essentiality of trees in our lives.
There's nothing you can do to prevent a drought. There are steps you can take to minimize the effect on your backyard garden. Dr. Nangwaya, who lives in Gordontown, St. Andrew, operates an organic farm at the back of his yard. For him, natural levity is key.
It's part of the African religious retention. When you look at all of the African traditional religions, one of the things you see in them is an ecological ethic of care, a love for the environment and treating the earth right. And it's also a practical thing. If you go to the forest and you destroy it, you're going to destroy the medicine that we need to protect ourselves, because many of these religions, you work with spirit. And the spirit may dictate what medicine you should, what bush you should use. If you destroy the forest, it's not there. And even some of these forests, there may be the space wherein the deities live. So you can't destroy the home of God. So natural living is good for us because it's going to protect the environment. Like with Rastafari, their ideal is that we don't poison the earth by using chemical fertilizer, inorganic fertilizer. Don't poison the earth by using inorganic pesticide, a chemical, to keep away things. Use natural way of doing it. And that's help the earth. Because if you use chemical fertilizer and we have runoff into the river, it's going to destroy plant life and animal life in it.
He believes, now more than ever, Caribbean people should embrace natural levity.
In the Caribbean, we're not dying largely from natural causes. Lifestyle diseases. Over 70% of the illnesses come from lifestyle diseases. So a natural way is in harmony with the earth and in harmony with people. And that's the way to go. And Rastafari Ita Levity can provide us with a guideline. Be natural, extend even beyond that. It's about us. The plastic runs go into the sea, and we say, okay, we're going to use sea salt. Now they're finding microplastic in salt. So even in fish, all of these things are going to affect them, and we're going to eat these things and then affect us. We have to think, long term. And and the solution is now, but we need the consciousness raising so people can see why Ita Levity, a natural way of relating to the earth, is a superior way to the way that capitalism has organized life, where everything is a commodity. You destroy things because you think there's going to be a technological fix, so we will solve it with improving technology. Just don't destroy the environment. Don't put chemical in our food. No, just do it the right way. But we also have to educate the customers, because a person expects a sweet pepper to look like this, or a cabbage look like this, but it's tasteless. The smaller one, it has taste in it.
For the news on PBCJ, I am Marlon Samuels.
For the latest gas prices and other financial news, let's join reporter Gabriel Thompson for the business report.
Motorists should see a decrease at the pumps in the prices of gasoline and diesel effective Thursday, June 4, according to the latest ex-refinery costs from Petrojam. 87 and 90 octane gasoline will be sold for $114.61 and $117.44 per liter respectively, down by $3.06 each. Automotive diesel fuel will be sold for $107.59 per liter, following a decrease of $2.56, while ultra-low sulfur is down by $3.06 and will be sold for $113.84 per liter. Meanwhile, kerosene decreased in price by $3.06 and will be sold for $89.57 per liter. Propane liquid petroleum will be sold for $47.21 per liter, down by 25 cents, and butane liquid petroleum will be sold for $50.57 per liter, after a decrease of 22 cents. Marketing companies and retailers will add their respective markup to these prices. In Wednesday's trading session, the JSE combined index advanced by 325 points to close at under 400,000 units. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 83 stocks, of which 32 advanced, 34 declined, and 17 traded firm. The junior market index advanced by 2 points to close at under 100 units. Stocks advanced for Access Financial Services, Cargo Handlers Limited, and Caribbean Cream Limited. Stocks declined for 138 Student Living Jamaica, AMG Packaging and Paper, and Burrito Investments Limited. Trading firm were Caribbean Producers Jamaica, Carreras Limited, and Dolphin Cove Limited. QWI Investments Limited was the volume leader with 12.1 million units, followed by Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited with 5.9 million units and the Sagicor Select Funds Limited Financial with 3.7 million units. Now for the foreign exchange. The US dollar on Wednesday, June 3, ended trading at $142.55. The Canadian dollar sold for an average $106.13. The pound sterling traded for $181.23, and the euro ended trading at $161.46. Oil prices dropped on Thursday on doubts over the ability of crude producers to agree to extend record output cuts, heightened by worries over a build in U.S. fuel inventories. Brent crude futures eased 29 cents to settle at $39.50 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate crude futures dropped 53 cents to settle at $36.76 a barrel. That's it for the business report on PBCJ. I'm Gabrielle Thompson.
Looking for great food and great service in Kingston? Then make your way to M10 Bar and Grill in Vineyard Town. That's the journey Simone Absalom took in this week's Culinary Trail.
The award-winning M10 Restaurant Bar and Grill has been given high rankings on TripAdvisor.com, and that ranking has not gone down since the COVID-19 pandemic. We're here to find out why.
Bar and Grill is a Jamaican and seafood restaurant. We also have a nice outside bar under the mango tree, and we have recently added a M Lounge to the establishment. So each night we have a different theme. So for example, we'll have the grill night, we'll have the seafood night, and we'll have the Jamaican night. We have quite a nice mix for everybody. And we also have gourmet night, which is on a Wednesday. But based off of what is going on now with the COVID, we have to basically adjust our menu. We have itemized the fast selling items, and we have basically provided those on a daily basis. We have curry goat, oxtail, fried chicken, our top sellers. And we have also implemented specials. Like on a Friday, we have like a jerk special, or we have a barbecue special, or we even incorporated a fish fry. So you get all of that for $1,000 a meal, and you get like a lemonade with it also. On a Saturday, we have decided to do a pasta special. So every Saturday we have a pasta special. For Mother's Day, we did a special in terms of a drive-through. So you just paid at the gate, you drive around, and you collected your meal. So you didn't have to come out of the car. So we want to pretty much do the same concept for Father's Day, but with a twist. So we're actually working on that. So it will be very special. Okay, so you can view us at our Instagram page, M10 Bar and Grill, or you can also call 930-2112. We do delivery, or you can come and pick up. So the choice is yours.
Hi, I'm here for a pickup. Thank you. Oh, this is going to be so yummy. I can't wait. Oxtail.
We had to lay off most of the staff. Most of that staff will be the wait staff, waitresses, because we're doing this takeout for now. Last week we have decided to do reservations only. So we're trying to see how best we can try and rotate the shifts that, that some of them can come and get back in their work still. So we're definitely trying to work on that part of it. We have adjusted our prices for the last 2 months. We plan to extend it for another month. So, we have heard the cry from persons out there, and we are trying our best to see how best, we can facilitate that by giving the discounts.
Taken a quick bite of my oxtail already, and it is so good. M10, you definitely get my vote. Thanks so much for making it Culinary Trails right here on PBCJ. See you next time.
In regional news, the International Monetary Fund has approved $280 million to the government of Barbados.
Government's finances get a boost as a result of the International Monetary Fund's approval of almost $280 million in support. The IMF's executive board and officials from the Ministry of Finance met yesterday and concluded the third review of its extended arrangement under the Extended Fund Facility for Barbados. The completion of the review of the Barbados Economic Recovery and Transformation Program allows government to draw the equivalent of US $139 million, bringing total disbursements to around US $283 million. Of the $280 million, Prime Minister Mia Mottley said $180 million would assist the country to get through the COVID-19 pandemic. She said some of the remaining money could be used to shore up the country's foreign reserves, which is currently at $1.7 billion.
In spite of Kevin being very comfortable and we being very comfortable with the 21 weeks of import cover, the money approved by the IMF earlier today, the 140 million US, roughly 280 million Barbados, will carry our import cover probably close, certainly over 1.9 billion, whether we choose to use the whole amount there or use part there and part elsewhere. We now have options.
The national recount of the March 2 general and regional elections in Guyana is nearing an end. InfoHub's Alexis Rodney provides the details.
At the end of Tuesday, June 2nd, day 28 of the national recount, a mere 3 regions were under review. These included regions 4, 6, and 10. It was expected that by the end of Wednesday, regions 6 and 10 should have been completed and focus be placed on the largest electoral district, region 4. The latest tally from the Elections Commission showed that some 364 ballot boxes remained from region 4 to be reviewed. The 21 boxes from region 6 and 25 from region 10 were expected to be completed by the end of Wednesday's exercise. With the current pace of the process, analysts believe that the national recount could be completed much sooner than the new June 13 deadline. With 12 workstations in place, counting agents have been making remarkable progress in the recount. GCOM's Public Relations Officer Yolanda Ward on Monday said the commission was making headway in the objections raised by the APNU-AFC coalition over electoral fraud during the elections. As part of providing evidence to claims of out-of-jurisdiction voters and EDA, the coalition had provided a list of names to the commission for verification by the chief immigrations officer. According to Ward, the elections body indicated that 172 out of the 207 persons did not arrive or return to Guyana on or before March 2, 2020. She said the full commission will have to decide on the way forward concerning the information received. As a result of the objections to the mounting discrepancies during the recount process, the commission has requested that the APNU-AFC present its evidence. The coalition has since been doing so. The coalition has proven that over 200,000 votes have now been affected by electoral fraud. In a recent statement, APNU AFC's Joseph Harmon said that the coalition had sent 11 letters to the Elections Commission speaking to the irregularities emanating from the recount. At the end of Sunday, May 31, some 1,144 ballot boxes were examined, exposing more than 4,000 irregularities. Those irregularities have amounted to some 221,244 votes being affected. For InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
In sports, we are on the crease with cricket as West Indies star batsman Darren Bravo has opted against travelling to England for the upcoming 3-test series in the United Kingdom. The left-hander is joined by fellow left-hander Sherman Hetmeyer and his Guyanese colleague Kemo Paul as the names missing from the 25-man touring party, which includes a 14-man squad and 11 reserves. We get more in this TTT Sports report from Ruskin Mark.
Bravo only recently returned to the West Indies fold with moderate returns, and the England tour was seen as crucial to his continued reintegration into international cricket. But his decision is quite understandable, as he isn't comfortable travelling to England at this time, one of the worst hit areas by the coronavirus in Europe. The same can be said for Hetmeyer and Paul, even though Hetmeyer is seen as a near first choice once fit, and Paul is an emerging all-rounder with good control. But getting their chance instead are first-timers Nkrumah Bonner, the Jamaican batsman, and fast bowler Chema Holder of Barbados, the former West Indies U-team star. Another Bajan and left-handed seamer Raymond Reefer is included, while the off-spinner Rakeem Cornwall is the leading spinner, along with the all-rounder Ruston Chase. Shea Hope leads the batting, while skipper Jason Holder and wicketkeeper batsman Shane Dowrich are expected to add experience. 11 reserves are included in the 25-man touring party, which sees the TNT trio of pacers Shannon Gabriel, Anderson Phillip, who gets his first break alongside the rookie Joshua De Silva, the wicketkeeper batsman, who are rewarded for their strong performances in the regional 4-day tournament for the TNT Red Force. O'Shane Thomas, Sunil Ambrose, and Jomel Warrican are also experienced players among the reserves. The 3-test series starts on July the 8th at Biosecure Aegis Bowl in Southampton without spectators. The second and third test will be played at Old Trafford starting on July the 16th and 24th. Cricket West Indies said players will be tested for coronavirus this week and are scheduled to arrive in the UK on June the 9th on a chartered flight. West Indies players and staff are taking a 50% pay cut as part of Cricket West Indies' response to the coronavirus pandemic. Ruskin Mark, TDT Sports.
And that's our package. Join us again, same time, same place for more news and sports right here on PBCJ, the People's Station.